Congratulations to Hanaa getting her 26 on TOEFL Speaking and completely passing all 4 sections of the TOEFL for her FPGEC, FPGEE requirements. I'm excited for you, Hanaa. It's great to hear about you moving forward, and I look forward to hearing about more good things from you. So everybody watching this, we get to benefit from Hanaa's post. You can see this official post in the Facebook group. It's the first link in the description of this video or in the comments of this video. You're welcome to see it there and to join our group. Okay, so we're going to go over Hanaa's advice and we're going to talk a little bit more about this. Hanaa says, as a pharmacist, my target score for speaking is 26. So it was a great challenge for me. And after many attempts, I got stuck with 24. I asked Hanaa about this. What do you mean stuck on 24? She said that the previous 4 TOEFLs, she had received the exact same score 4 times. She got 24 4 times before this 26. Okay, let's go on. Hanaa then says, for question 1, Aaron Speaking gave me some advice to stop using speaking templates, which made me sound like a robot, and instead to sound confident and angry in my response. So you can see I just read Hanaa's words. Now I'm going to share with you my words, which are very similar to this, but I'm going to change sound to be, and I'm going to explain angry. So I do recommend that you stop using speaking templates. I'm speaking to pharmacists whose requirement for FPGEE is 26 on TOEFL Speaking. I'm speaking to pharmacists who are going to get their 26 on TOEFL Speaking. Yes, I do recommend you stop using speaking templates. If you are somebody who feels stuck at 24 or 25 on TOEFL Speaking, maybe you have even gotten 26 or above once or twice before, but you're not consistently getting that 26 on TOEFL Speaking that you are going to get when you pass. Since you need to pass all 4 sections of the TOEFL on one exam for FPGEE, I recommend that you stop using speaking templates. I'm going to change sound confident to be confident. Sometimes people will give me an answer that sounds smart. They are trying to sound smart in their answer. Now, this does not mean I'm saying try to sound dumb. Instead, my advice is to be convincing. So here, when Hanaa says sound confident, I know that the way that I teach that is to be confident. You already are confident. You already are confident. You already are a pharmacist. You already are a person who has years of experience, years of thinking of ideas. So when the question is asking you to progress your ideas, confidently do so. You're an intelligent person. Otherwise, you wouldn't have become a pharmacist. You are a fluent person. Otherwise, you wouldn't already be there on the verge of getting your 26 on TOEFL Speaking. So instead of feeling like you have to give exactly 2 reasons and exactly 2 examples, instead of following that speaking template or any other speaking template, trust your fluency. Trust your fluency and progress your ideas. You should be able to confidently progress your ideas because they are your ideas. And TOEFL Speaking question number 1 is not asking you to give the answer for the universe or give the best answer for all people. No, TOEFL Speaking question number 1 is saying, what's your opinion? Explain why. The scoring rubrics are telling you to progress your idea, to progress your opinion. Progress your opinion confidently, aggressively, the same way you would with your best friend, the same way you would with a family member. That connects us to when she says, angry in my response. You might have seen and heard in my previous video with another pharmacist, Edgar, who got 26 on TOEFL Speaking, and he also recommends getting rid of speaking templates. You can see other pharmacists getting their 26 and above and completely passing the TOEFL on my YouTube channel, Speaking 26. You can also find this YouTube channel by going to speaking26.com and hear the advice of other pharmacists who are also suggesting that you stop using a speaking template and instead start using your speaking fluency. Focus on the scoring rubrics. When Hanaa says angry, I don't tell people to start shouting in the test center, start throwing things at the computer screen. Here, but however, if somebody is using this word angry to improve their answer, if somebody is using the word angry to get their 26 on TOEFL speaking for FPGEE, so be it. The way that I teach it and the way that I'm going to teach it right now to you is this. If you told me that I have to use a speaking template, I would also sound like a robot. I wouldn't give my great answers. I would feel limited in my fluency. I would feel limited in my creativity. Instead, I know that I'm fluent enough. I know that I'm intelligent enough. If you also know that about yourself, trust that. Defend your opinion. Defend your preference. TOEFL speaking question number 1 puts us in a position where we're given 2 choices, and you know there are very smart people who feel this way, and there are very smart people who feel that way. You need to choose one and explain why. Defend why. Convince why. Do that confidently. You have years of experience. You are a smart person. It should be natural for you to do that confidently, the way that I'm naturally teaching you to do that right now. That's what she means when she says angry. That's how I teach it when I say aggressive, confident, naturally aggressive, naturally confident. Moving on with Hanaa's post and her advice. Then for speaking questions 2, 3, and 4, don't try to say everything. That's really overwhelming. However, try to integrate and explain in your simple words. Again, I have another video that talks about integrating and explaining with about 20%. You can see that on my YouTube channel, integrating and explaining about 20%. You can search Speaking 26 on YouTube. You can also find this YouTube channel through speaking26.com. Let's talk a little bit about integrating and explaining. What does Hanaa mean and how does Erin teach that? Okay, the first part of that comment says, don't try to say everything. Hanaa and I were asked a question. What does that mean? Don't try to say everything, okay? Here's the question, and here is Hanaa's answer to that question, a more thorough piece of advice. What do you mean, don't try to say everything? How do I know which information I should say and which information I should omit? Hanaa's answer, integrating is like braiding hair. That means include the most relevant information from both the passage and the lecture. Then skip the most irrelevant information from the lecture. Okay. In addition, integrating means exchanging words from the passage with their synonyms in the lecture. Lastly, explain the lecture in a simple way, and you can even use your own words to connect the passage to the lecture. Here is what I say, here is what I teach in regards to Hanaa's great advice here. Integrating the passage in TOEFL speaking section questions number 2 and 3, we get a reading passage first. Number 1, this is going to represent the reading passage. Then we get either the conversation between the 2 students or the professor's lecture. This is going to represent the second thing that we get. When she says braiding hair is like integrating, yes, it's intertwining. It's connecting those 2 things, the reading passage and either the conversation between the 2 students or the professor's lecture, connecting, integrating those 2 things multiple times. You need to integrate your answer on this integrated question at least once. I suggest you do this as many times as you can. accurately, of course, within your 60 seconds. Here, when she says that integrating means exchanging words from the passage with their synonyms in the lecture, this is what the question is asking us to do. Using the examples, explain the concept. It doesn't say, quote the professor. It doesn't say, copy and paste the professor. This is not a listening section question. The question tells us to explain it. And a way to help you to understand what explain means is to think of it as teach it. I know you just heard about this concept or principle for the first time. You just got this reading, you just got this lecture, or you just got this university announcement, you just got this conversation between the two students. Okay, well now explain it to somebody who didn't get that information. You just got it, but now explain it in a better way to somebody else who didn't even just get that. An example of this would be a TOEFL Speaking section question number 3 that talks about behavior modification. In the reading passage, it says, based on the consequences of those actions. Okay. Consequences of the actions. From the professor's lecture, the teacher, a synonym in the lecture from the teacher says, punished or held in from recess. Those are the negative consequences of the student's actions. Therefore, the student's behavior is unlikely to be repeated. Integrate, braid hair. Lastly, explain the lecture in a simple way, and you can even use your own words to connect the passage to the lecture. I'm glad that Hanaa said this, in a simple way. Use simple words. Don't make it harder than it has to be. The question is already hard enough. If you are trying to explain the lecture in a not simple way, if you are reaching for big vocabulary words or advanced phrases that are a little too far beyond your fluency, if I do that, that's not going to help me. It's not going to help you. Instead, explain it in a simple way. I'll give you an example. Whenever TOEFL Speaking question number 2 says bicycles, I don't say bicycles. Most of the time, I say bikes. This is because in my day-to-day life, my friends, my family, my teachers growing up, we all say bikes. Yes, I know what the word bicycles is, and I can say bicycles. However, I don't like the way that feels. It throws me off just enough for me to decide I'm not going to say that word. This applies to many words. Capture prey. Okay. Get its food. This applies to many words and phrases. Use the words and phrases. Use simple words and phrases that you are comfortable with, that you are fluent with. It's more important that we explain the bigger ideas. It's more important that we progress the bigger ideas. Do so by using simple language. I am encouraged by many things. Hanaa's post is one of them. So I encourage all of you to go and read this full post in our Facebook group. Again, the link is in the description of this video or the first comments of this video. To get more of this for your 26 on speaking, my Facebook group and YouTube channel are linked below this video. Also, you can find my Facebook group and YouTube channel by going to speaking26.com.